Our next event will be the Spec Miata division.
Oh,
As E-Production, D-Sports Racing is coming up. Showroom Stock C, Formula Ford. There's a lot of racing on hand yet today. 8 races per day today, tomorrow, and Sunday here at Road America. So you've still got a chance, even if you're a couple of hours away, to see some awesome national championship racing here at Road America.
Well, Spec Miata, they better call every body shop in the country and get them ready, because these guys are going to mix it up.
We see Biz down on the grid getting his final few comments, because in reality there's 63 cars that are going to take the green flag. And John Bizignano, as far as competition, this has grown into the most popular division in SCCA.
Dean Case, Communication Director for Mazda. Listen, you told me earlier that almost a third of the cars here at the Runoffs have the Mazda badge on.
We're up to 27% this year. We're really stoked about that. 158 cars, 63 of them here in Spec Miata. So we dominate. As we tell people, we're a small player on the road, about 2%, but here we're big. We outnumber Toyota, Honda, Nissan combined.
Why is that?
Great cars. I mean, the Miata and the RX-7 are just fundamentally fabulous sports cars, and they're very affordable for buying a used Miata to go racing. Name any car you could buy for that little money that'll go this quick.
Now, how much do the dealerships get involved with this?
And that varies from dealership to dealership. We have some racers who have great relations with their local dealerships. Some parts of the country, honestly, it's not a big deal, but more and more dealers are catching on that there's money to be made here. And these people are the influencers. These are the ones who influence all their car geeks to buy that CX-7, that CX-9. And more we're seeing things happen on the retail level.
So when some manufacturers are actually dropping out of motorsports or reducing their motorsports investment, not Miata, not Mazda.
No, and not on the grassroots level. Every time we have a meeting with upper management, they get back to, what are you doing about grassroots? Don't let that suffer.
All right, let's talk about the Miatas here. My gosh, how many do we have behind us?
63.
And to get these cars to go fast, I mean, they have to be very finely tuned. They're not all stock, but they're close to it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
The belief is you can build a competitive one for $10,000. There's guys who put more into it, but ultimately it becomes a test of drivers. And we've seen the drivers who come out of Spec Miata do exceptionally well when they move up to the pro ranks. If you can drive one of these quickly, you can drive anything quickly.
Well, that's absolutely true. Momentum is everything. Listen, Dean, thank you so much. And please, Mazda, thank you so much for supporting the Sports Car Club of America.
Oh, we love this. These are our core customers. We love the SCCA.
I got to say it. Zoom to you.
Thank you.
Be a lot of zooming around here with 63 cars in one event for 13 laps here, Dorsey.
Yeah, Dean Case is quite a guy, too. I tell you, I've been working with him back in the days of Ford. He was one of our marketing media people back then, and he's been in this business a long time. And then the Mazda story is a huge story. There's no question about that. I mean, a third of the entire field of the Mazdas, that's a big statement when you're talking about somewhat 600-plus cars here.
Well, even the categories go up to Star Mazda. I mean, the building blocks that Mazda has set in place and the commitment they made to racing at every level to where you get to where you're making money at it.
It's great to see a manufacturer that does that, too, that has a ladder system where a guy can come in, go to a Skip Barber driving school, whatever, get his license, come in and have somewhere to go with that, you know.
And as we move on here, I'm Jim Trader along with Dorsey Schrader. It's time for the Spec Miatas to take to the racetrack. We say Spec Miata Dorsey, and it's a pretty interesting class. It's got to be a handful when you get out there with that many race cars.
Oh, 63 cars. I can't even imagine what's going to happen. Like I said, start calling the body shops right now. There's cars out there from 1980 all the way up to currently actually a 2005 car. All of them are Mazda Miatas, just like you buy on the street. You know, no differences. Safety equipment's been added to them, obviously. Roll cages and all the belts and systems that you need to have to make it a safe race car.
And indeed, we find the defending race winner is in the field. Steve Guerrerian is going to be on the racetrack with these machines. He's qualified on pole. He'll lead them out on the racetrack for their warm-up lap on the formation circuit. And really looking at all these cars, they all look the same. But last year, it seemed like one specific gear had a handle on things. Guerrerian and the boys in the 99 Mazda Miata, somehow that's the magical one that was the fastest.
Yeah, and it just still is on the pole again. But these guys, you know, if you like rubbing his racing, you're going to love this race because these guys mix it up. They really do. 63 cars on the racetrack, 500 folks help out here in every aspect of making sure this event runs smoothly, from the corner workers to registration. It's a pretty cool deal. I think all those corner workers were trying to say hi to us there. They're out there.
Hi back, guys.
There's a bunch. What'd you say? There's like 500 workers here,
yeah,
all working on their own nickel, if you will.
And just imagine the input on these 63 machines. I mean, they've ran across the country. It used to be Spec Racer Ford was the class. Everybody, how many? 70, 85, 90 cars. I remember one year there were 71 cars here just for the June sprints at Road America. This year, they've had 1,190 total entries in Spec Miata throughout the country.
That's
That
an
is the
amazing
most
stat.
of any division.
It's an amazing stat, no question about it. But these cars are fun to run. You know, they're inexpensive. You can buy them. You can race them. They can, like I said, they race really hard. You're going to see that in a few minutes when we go green. But it's a very economical class to run.
And starting outside of Guerrero will be Tony Coelho in the number 17 machine. These guys have done this for a while. It seems like as much as you can just jump into it, they're now doing the fine-tuning, the edging, the camber, the caster, all those fine-tuning points to get that 10th of a second or 100th of a second to beat the next guy.
All these guys up in the top 10 are really, really good drivers, make no mistake about it. They've won championships in different divisions and so forth. Yeah, these cars, anytime you're in a spec situation with a spec class, you've got to massage that car to the infinite degree. You know, you have to get every little bit out of it because everybody else has got the same equipment as you do.
And again, Road America, great place to be on any given race weekend. SCCA National Championships cap off the season, but there are regional events here. The June Sprints is always one of the key components to anybody's racing career to come up here and win at Road America in the summer month of June. And we see the workers, we see the leaves changing. It's a really picturesque situation. Unfortunately, it's about 50 degrees outside and a big heavy wind.
It's the coldest day since we've been here, and some of these competitors have been here 2 weeks now. Actually, the racetrack itself, when we first got here at the beginning of the week, was fastest then. It's actually gone slower. That's unusual. But then the weather's digressed, too. We had that big rain last night that washed all the rubber away. And then today, like you say, in the 50s with a 40-mile-per-hour crosswind here.
And as much as we like sitting here in the nice confines of the broadcast booth, our compatriot here on pit road, Jonathan Bizignano. John, for the 15th time hanging out with these guys, what's it like on pit road and what's the weather like right now?
Hey guys, I'll tell you, it's been windy down here, but I think it might be the windiest that it's been so far today. Look at those trees and those flags. You know, they were reporting some 30-mile-an-hour winds at the local airport, but these have got to be around 40 miles an hour. And again, even if you're in a production car, which is a fairly heavy vehicle, going through Canada Corner, going down Thunder Road, when you get blasted sideways by a 40-mile-an-hour wind, it's going to make a difference in your straight line direction. Coming up this hill, it's going to slow you down, straight line speed. They've got this wind right on their nose in some places on the track, but the worst is the crosswind. So they're going to be certainly feeling a little bit like kites going down these long straightaways at Elkhart Lake.
And we saw it in the last race that the crosswind here on the front straightaway, it will make a big difference at getting up against that pit wall like we saw them doing before. Just trying to stay out of that wind.
And the big difference here, Dorsey, as well, is this class, Spec Miata, you've got to run the roof. There's no option. You can't take the hardtop off.
They're all the same. It's like a street car. Like I say, they put safety equipment in these cars that don't come, standard on a street car, like the roll cages and so forth. But other than that, they're all the same.
63 machines have showed up here to race in the 2010 SCCA National Championship runoffs in the Spec Miata division alone. The 4-mile road course will have Steve Guerrerian leading this field from Providence, Rhode Island, around the racetrack to the green flag. The defending race winner will line up on the front row next to Tony Coelho of East Troy, Wisconsin, in the PortFoundations.com 1997 Mazda Miata. So he broke that string of, we mentioned that famous year of 99. Somehow that happens to be the car that matches up well with this racetrack. He's surrounded by a bunch of 99ers. Sam Valafar, Sammy out of Las Vegas, lines up in third in the number 78 machine. Andrew Charbonneau had a great season this year. He'll line up in the fourth position in the number 67 machine. And in the fifth position, row number 3, Jim Drago, who had a great run last year. And Jim finished second here a year ago out of Memphis, Tennessee, the Mid-South region. Blake Clements qualified in the 6th position. The neat thing about Blake is, in that silver machine, he was third. This is the 4th time he's been at the runoffs, but from the Atlanta region. Loves Road Atlanta, but coming here, it's a different ball game. And I got to ask you, Dorsey, as we look through all these cars, you've been here in a Trans Am car, lots of downforce, lots of good grip. These cars are basically identical when it comes to the outside skin. How do you get the advantage?
Well, you really need to manage what you have, manage your own car, get it to where you're liking. You've got very minimum amount of adjustability in these cars. So, you just get the car to where you can drive it at its best potential, I would say. The guy that's done it the most, of course, our pole sitter, Steve Guerrerian, actually has he put a huge number on the board. He's got a full second over second place, and that's something in his spec class you just don't see. And
a 2-minute 42.983 second lap on the first day was good enough to hold pole. The second quick time was posted by Tony Coelho in that same session, 2:43.998. So we mentioned that full second gap. 1.3 seconds paid off for Shadow and GT lights we just saw here at Road America. We'll see how that may play out for the 13 laps now. And lap traffic's going to be an issue here.
The traffic everywhere is going to be an issue here. I mean, these guys, this is one of the more fun classes to watch. I've got to tell you, because it's so action-packed. There's going to be cars out in gravel traps and God knows where else. They'll be all over the place here soon.
And sitting back in 14th is a national points champion, Chip Van Bursten, the number 02 machine. It's black and green. He's out of Pompano Beach, Florida. We'll catch a glimpse of him as well, because I'm sure qualifying 14th is not how he wants to cap off his championship season. He'll try to progress, again, the Southeast Division champion and as well as the national points champion in this event. And, that's how stacked this is. You know what I mean?
It's hard to believe you could be running mid-pack in 30th, 31st position, you know.
How'd you do? I finished better than half of them, 30th.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, we mentioned how critical starts are. With the Spec tires they have as part of the Spec Miata class, just a matter of getting a clean run into turn one, I'm guessing. That's kind of the hope for these guys.
And then you just got to, the stack-up effect in the brake zone is going to be hugely magnified when you've got 60 cars, So the guy in the back rows, they can't even see the front rows. They don't even know what's going on up at the front.
And really, then it's almost a matter of, I got to get one spot a lap, or I've got to get this guy at this point and settle into your pace. And Guerrerian's going to try to do everything he can to lead this division from start to finish. He started on the pole last year and won this event. Did our pole sitter in the number 44 machine, the Sync Save Driven Perf Gorilla Racing Mazda out of the New England region. And we see a lot of these guys have a bunch of track time here, though. A lot of these machines have been here before Monday to get warmed up for this.
Like I said, some guys have been here 2 weeks already. This is motorized mayhem at its best. Right here's what this is.
And it's the 6th time that Steve Guerrerian has been in the SCCA National Championship Runoffs field. Again, this is the 2nd year held at Road America. If you're just joining us on Speedcast TV for this coverage, it's been a great event thus far. Again, the conditions have been questionable this morning, a bit windy all throughout the day, a little wetness. The track is completely dried now. And this is really the second time these drivers have figured, okay, I need a 13-lap race. I need to make it clean. And this most popular division, SCCA, offers a lot of disparity when it comes to experience from Guerrerian and his runs. Coelho is a very strong racer, Formula Ford racer 3 times over the last 3 years in this division. Really has been something that Coelho's been playing with, but now it's taking a pretty serious turn for these guys.
Yeah, one thing you don't want to do today is get off the racetrack, because although it wasn't raining, this track is dry. That grass, I guarantee you, after last night's soaking, is not going to give you any grip.
Get a good look at these 63 starters here in the Spec Miata field, and again, a lot of racers. We'll try to do the best we can with all the action around the racetrack with our Speedcast TV cameras, speedcasttv.com cameras. I hope they're wide enough to catch the action as we roll through 5 here on the formation lap.
Yeah, with that kind of a field, it's going to be nonstop. I said in the race before that no matter where you are, you're racing with somebody. Well, it's for sure here. You're going to be racing with somebody all the time.
I will predict turn 6 here. I think that's going to be a critical point here in the race to make that run. It's going to be crazy. I think that sand is going to get a little bit of workout today.
Oh, it will. The run into turn 1 at the start, that's the first thing, the first hurdle to go over. Get through there clean, and then see how you can get spaced out. I mean, if I was in a race like this with this many cars, I would just slot into someplace I felt comfortable for the first, 5-6 laps, and then start working away. Like you said, 1 car a lap, pick the guy off here, pick a guy off there. But boy, I tell you, we're going to see him go into turn 1. I guarantee you 5 wide.
And it's going to be about a minute or so. You're going to find yourself sitting in front of your computer and going, what's going on? Oh, looks like it may be a bit slow up here for the drivers that are starting in the second row.
Yeah, these guys slowed up. They slowed themselves up to get a gap.
All right.
I don't know why.
Want to gas it maybe? I don't know if that would be scrubbing a little bit. Sammy Valafar there in the 78 machine will line up in third. He's part of that gap trying to close back up here as they're trying to form 2x2 for the initial start here.
Yeah, these guys are just pacing themselves away from the pace car so they can do a couple acceleration runs, I think, and get some temperature in the brakes.
And again, the Spec Miata division averaging 39 cars, it seemed like 40 per race, and now we're at 63. You qualify, isn't that amazing? You qualify through your region and your division. You got to run X amount of events in division and outside division to qualify to run here. Not just everybody can show up, but man, this is certainly a booming class and a very positive sign for SCCA club racing throughout the country.
I started a race at Watkins Glen with 107 cars, which was the record. But I mean, even at 60, like we're looking at here, 63 cars, it's so complicated, how to drive through 63 cars.
Well, look forward, Dorsey, how you finished better than 107th. You can tell us throughout this race here.
I remember that happened on that green flag. I'm just waiting for this one. We had cars from the guardrail to the guardrail. There's no way anybody could have spun out.
I know what that means. A whole lot of stoppage there. We are about half a lap away from starting our Spec Miata race again. Racing throughout the weekend here at Road America. The national championships have really started in earnest on Monday, officially setting some practice times. And indeed, the fastest 2 cars were fastest on Monday. So they were just doing some fine tuning from that point forward. There are 2 additional sessions to determine our starting grid here in Spec Miata. They're forming up 2x2 behind them. The leaders again still want to get one more squirt on that gas pedal before we get back to 2x2.
Boy, and look, I'm not even to Canada corner yet, and the lead cars are probably halfway up the straightaway.
It will be an interesting start. We're going to look forward to that as we have a lot of seasoned veteran flavor at the point. Some of these drivers must have just focused on one solid lap here.
Big gap here. I don't know why these guys in the back aren't catching right up. I guess they don't want to be in the turn 1 wreck. It might be smart.
I want to lead by turn 3, so if I start 20th, I might have a chance.
That's what you got to watch out on these starts. Somebody in the 10th row thinking they can lead turn 1.
All right, here we go. The pace car is going to pull off on pit road there, and up the hill they come. Steve Guerrero working all year long to defend his title and come back as not only a national points champion, but return as a runoffs champion. We'll find out in 13 circuits if he can do that. The pole sitter, Guerrero, has the lead early, but here they come to the stripe. 3 wide already before we get the green.
3 wide, 3 rows deep. It's not going to be pretty.
The entire field funneling into turn 1. It's a high-speed corner. Yeah, it's wide enough, but man, how wide can it get? We're going to find out right here, right now.
About 5 cars width, I would say.
Guerrero lost the edge to Coelho here in the initial start. Coelho takes the lead in that black machine up front.
Now, these guys are known to bump draft and push and shove on each other a little bit, too. I mean, these cars can take it.
Very clean start. Guerrero wants the inside back on Coelho now. He said, you can have the start going into 1, but once we get through there, I'm going to take this lead back here. Guerrero in the 44 machine. Drops to left, but doesn't seem to matter here. Coelho runs second now.
Good orderly start. I'm really impressed with how clean everything was down through this point of the racetrack.
I thought I'd be sitting here picking out which numbers where and which cars facing which direction at turn number 1, but a great run by all these racers.
Top 2 guys, if they can break that gap, get away, and don't race each other too hard. I mean, it'd be nice just to race with 1 or 2 cars, not 60.
Down into 5 for the first time here. 13 circuits around. This is the slowest corner on the racetrack. There's another point of contention here. If the brakes fade at all on you, you'll find out in a hurry coming down into 5.
Now we got a 2-way battle going up the hill.
Coelho again to the inside. Tony Coelho of East Troy, Wisconsin, trying to make his position heard here. You see the white number 2 machine as well. That's Jim Drago. He finished second here last year.
Important on these cars to drive very smoothly. You don't want to slide them around. You don't want to get the back end stepping out because they don't have the horsepower. It's street horsepower, so you really just don't have anything to slide around and recover from. All momentum here.
Coelho now going under the Johnsonville Bridge, leading Guerrero, but again, by a second, Guerrero had the field covered in qualifying. Coelho takes that lead early. There's a good shot at the number 67 machine of Andrew Charbonneau. Charbonneau out of Delray Beach, Florida.
Was a huge lap he put down in qualifying. That surprised everyone.
Charbonneau, you think he's wearing long underwear right now?
It's a little chilly out there.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
3-layer. Can I have a 5-layer suit? But certainly all business now at the head of the field. They're stringing out single file in Spec Miata.
And what gets tough about this, when you're like the 7th car in a line like this, you can't see past all those other cars. And it's really hard to hit your points. You know, you're turning. Oh, big wreck here on the straightaway. 2 cars off in the kink. And it's
coming back across, too.
And now there's a 3rd.
Boy, what a shame.
4th. 5th.
Really nowhere to go. And as they come around that corner, Dorsey, as you know, as a racer of a championship caliber this is, when you come around that corner, you got to make a decision in a hurry. And unfortunately for those drivers, not able to lock it down.
Yeah, that's the exit of the kink, and it's very high speed, like we were talking about before. You have to assume that at least one of those cars probably did a radiator, so it's going to be slippery.
Thomas Kraft in the black and silver 46. We saw him momentarily started back in 42nd position. We'll have a 4-course caution here.
Yeah,
as you would
doubt.
expect with the double yellows here at start finish, and yellow flags, they'll stay stationary throughout the course, and the drivers have to stay single file. They kind of slow things down to a comfortable pace to allow the workers really to get their business done.
Well, the one car that we saw sitting there, that one's not going anywhere. It had the left front wheel completely knocked off it, so it's not going to drive away. Plus, there's so much debris down there that's going to have to be cleaned up by those corner workers, like you said.
And a case in point here, anything that can damage that race car is going to slow you down with as closely prepared as they are.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, that I was worried about that, somebody getting turned around with that many cars, because there's just really nowhere that you're going to dodge once that pinball starts bouncing around.
Started out as a 2-car incident, and unfortunately for the drivers, you mentioned wet grass. That may have played a factor. They couldn't keep it on the fence. It came sliding across the racetrack, and a few other cars got involved there.
I think there was 5 total cars that were involved in that, where it was really a 2-car skirmish at the beginning. There's the wheel that was knocked off.
This is where Catherine Legg had that huge shunt as well on a champ car.
That is one of the most terrifying corners in racing. I mean, that's what the drivers, you love it and you hate it. I mean, it's a fun corner. You can do it in a good car. You can do that corner completely flat out, but there's no margin of error, as you can see right there. You know, once somebody breaks free in there, it's very rare that you spin and not wreck a big car there.
So we'll slow down the Spec Miata field again. The time limits really are 40 minutes per race. So this is cutting down green flag action. So
absolutely,
for the guys running 25th that think they have a real good car and just didn't get their qualifying down, this hampers their efforts.
Well, all those cars made it back except for the one that we see standing there. They'll get a flatbed tow on that and get it out of there, and they're going to have to clean that racetrack up a little bit. But that's what those corner workers are. There are a lot of people here, and they're all really good what they do.
And the neat thing about it is they care so much about it that as soon as that incident happened, control called it down. Everyone was on their game. They got the field righted and slowed down. And I imagine the waving yellows, as you mentioned, the visibility. If you're racing through the windshield of the guy ahead of you, that's a situation where you got to just be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you see a yellow flag situation going into the carousel or kink or any high-speed corner like that, you back it down, because there's nothing good that happens in those corners.
Well, the competitors will continue to cycle around here under caution. We see one car maybe stop going up into turn number 6, and we'll continue to file through here. With the incident in the kink slowing the action here, Guerreri got that lead back from Coelho, but I don't think that's going to be over yet before we get back to green. Sitting third right now is the number 67 of Andrew Charbonneau. Fourth on the racetrack is Sammy Valafar in the number 78 machine, the black and silver car. Jim Drago sits fifth in the all-white number 2. He again finished second last year, so I think his strategy is to stay with this lead group. An interesting story about Jeff Labonte, the number 07 machine. He qualified in the 9th position. He passed 25 cars last year, start to finish, to claim 13th.
That's
so
amazing.
Again, will there be another story like that with the amount of time we have? I would hope so. But again, he was a later entry into the deal, and Jeff Labonte in the 07 machine sits in the 6th position right now.
These drivers will be kind of looking at the crash area, the crash site down there, and anticipating what lap they're going to go back to green on. You'll see them, they'll know just by how the record's coming along and so forth, how much race time will be left under green, but it definitely puts the pressure on.
Now, one other thing to point out, the number 39 machine of Danny Stan here in single file order. He's in the 11th position right now, and Danny started in the 11th spot, and he won the June sprints. It doesn't seem to play a huge factor in the relatability to the Spec Miata division at this point. It may be premature to say that.
Yeah, I mean, June sprints is probably, to this race itself, the second biggest race in the country. They have the biggest fields. It's one of the prestigious races that people like to come to and run. Of course, that is in June. It's a lot warmer than it is this weekend here. But in a class like Spec Miata, it's if you win the June sprints, you win any of the races, it doesn't really necessarily, mean that you're going to come here and win the runoffs as well. Because I'd say anybody in the top 10 is capable of winning this race.
And Andrew Charbonneau on that 67 machine sitting third. He's second right now, or he finished second in the national points. He's finished second in the Southeast Division. But when you look at things, he ran 12 races this year.
See, that's what we were talking about that before,
Won 3 of them.
Some guys will run 3 or 4 races a year. Some guys will run 10, 12 races a year. Depends on what your budget is, so forth. These cars are economical to run. They're not hugely expensive, so you can certainly run them more on a budget.
They see the 67 of Charbonneau there, trying to get things cleaned off of his tires and keep them clean here around this 4-mile road course. And the cars continue to stream by. We've got a couple of other stories to share with you as well. We know that the number 6 machine, starting in the 6th, was Blake Clements. He's had a strong run here in the past, and his 4th SCCA National Championship runoffs out of the Atlanta region, the Southeast Division. Sitting in the 8th position is Pombo. Not the Pombo you think. The national champion, Matt Pombo, said, you know what, yeah, I'll let Mark drive this car. So actually, it turns out to be the time for Mark Pombo to get this race car back in order. His brother finished 3rd in this car last year, and Matt also won the National Points Championship.
I raced against his father, who's here. I saw Pepe yesterday. Running around on a scooter. We raced back in the Dodson days in the early 80s.
And Pepe bagged 2 of these national championships as well. So as the field continues to cycle on under caution, we mentioned a 5-car tangle in the kink. We're still addressing those needs in the kink to get that track cleared and everything. We're going to take a step away right now on our SpeedcastTV.com coverage and come back for more Spec Miata action here at Road America. Stay tuned.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gumout.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrated.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.
And welcome back to the SCCA National Championship Runoffs at Road America. The culmination of a long season of racing started back in February in Florida, carries on through here for the second straight year to Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, one of the premier road course races in North America. Dorsey, you mentioned earlier about Europeans coming over here and liking this racetrack. I had the pleasure of walking with Hans Stuck from his podium interview when he ran the Audis. Remember those days?
Mm-hmm.
Walking down to get across the old bridge to get back to the paddock, and I happened to ask him, I said, it really looks like you enjoy yourself here at Road America. He said, you know what, this is my favorite racetrack in the continent. It just reminds me so much of home.
You hear that a lot too. I mean, this was always my favorite racetrack. It's no slow corners here. It's all high speed stuff, and it's a racetrack that makes, you have to have a commitment here. There's no doubt about it. It's a scary place. You're really going fast around these corners.
And again, we're under caution in the Spec Miata for an incident on the opening circuit. Looks like we're getting slowed up here as we enter the kink, and again, staying on their toes is certainly something they did. 5 cars in reality out of the 63 or so. That's actually, thankfully the drivers were able to slow down in time where it wasn't a further conglomeration of cars getting together out the kink, which really is a blind right-hand corner.
Yeah, it's totally blind on entry, and it's flat out. You're just turning in there, and if something goes wrong in a pack of 63 cars, well, it's inevitable that you're not going to be the only one in it.
And this Spec Miata class really in the popularity has grown and grown and grown. It's not been that long in the tradition of it. And I remember when these cars came out of the showroom, you could not get one.
No, you
had to wait in line and pay more money to the dealer just to get on top of the order.
It's a hugely popular car, and it's a great racing class car because it holds up to the punishment of racing. You can take these things and see that the lights are out on the pace car, which means we'll go green this lap. So
reset the front of the field for you. If they stay this way for 100 feet, it might be a surprise. Steve Guerrerian, the race leader from the pole in the 44, just got the lead back from Tony Coelho, and that was a two or three position change in just half a lap. Andrew Carbonneau is running third in the 67. Sammy Valafar is running in the fourth. Jim Drago is fifth in the number 2. The 07 machine, Jeff Labonte, has moved up from 9th already to 6th. In the 6th spot is Blake Clements, and in the 8th position is Mark Pombo. I'm getting it wrong. Matt, again, the national points champion. Mark's turned behind the wheel here for the Pombo family, and the number 10 machine currently sits in the 8th position as we head for hopefully a restart and the remainder of the Spec Miata class under green.
These first cars will get the green flag, and the other guys will be coming out of Canada corners still.
That's the thing. You really want to close it up here because any gap here, you have that long uphill battle. I would think you want to be right to the taillights of the guy ahead of you.
Definitely want to. No doubt about it.
Good flash of the 68 of David Bednar's in the silver and yellow number 68. Finished 10th here a year ago. Back in the 20th spot on the restart here is Bednar's as we go green with Guerrerian leading him back to the point from the point.
Pretty good jump on the green there for our leader as they're side by side behind him. That's something he'll like to see because that'll slow those cars up a little bit.
Coelho has company. That black machine is Tony Coelho. There goes the 67 machine of Andrew Charbonneau. Very strong move back to the middle of the racetrack to take over second here.
Good move right there and gets it done before the corner, like I said before, so it won't hold up anybody.
Sammy Valafar also with the outside position on Coelho is able to take third momentarily here. Valafar into third in that number 78 machine.
Everybody nice and orderly, single file. Drops a wheel there a little bit off the exit. Not going to hurt him any.
Valafar out of Las Vegas made the gamble. I would try to bring it all together. On the outside of Coelho. And Coelho, again, had a very strong car at the outset. Perhaps when the tires come in, we'll see a change for the leadership. But right now, again, Guerrerian is the car that did qualify a full second faster than the field. Leading now a 3-car train as we funnel past here. And now it's not a train for long. They're widening out here to turn 5. And it's the 67 machine going for the point. Andrew Charbonneau makes the wide move. Is it a wise move at this point?
Made it clean, and it looks like they're going to go up to 6, side by side.
Guerrerian to the inside now in 6. Takes the lead back in the 44.
Oh, and 6-7 on the outside. It's going to lose that position. I was going to say, if he could stay there, the next corner being right-hander would have been his advantage. But unfortunately, Andrew drops the wheels.
Great save by Charbonneau to hang on to second. If he had perhaps another 2 seconds in the dirt, he'd be back in 10th right now. Guerrerian leading now the 67 of Charbonneau.
These guys really haven't found a rhythm yet. With that first lap incident, they just really haven't got into the feel of the race yet.
Coelho's gotten back around into the 17 machine, that black 17 into third, into fourth, bringing with him Jim Drago. They both have now put Valifar back into the 5th position. So good maneuvering there on this lap for those machines to get back into podium contention.
Here again, the kink. Awesome corner. Doesn't do it justice seeing it on TV. If you go down there and watch that corner live, it's frightening.
It is a spectacle to see how these machines can get through there. And really, the bravery it takes to say, okay, I can do this. What, flat-footed? Really?
Yeah, it's a commitment. There's no doubt about that.
Great battle for third here. Charbonneau in second. Coelho has nothing to do besides look everywhere. If he had a 360 on his helmet, he'd probably look behind,
look at that.
Next to him.
3 wide, and they're making contact. We got another wreck happening.
Sammy Valifar, again, went from 3rd to 5th on that lap, trying to make a move there, 2 and 3 wide, spun off the course to the right of the screen. Valifar spinning out of contention, the number 78 machine, again up to 3rd. And the last time they came up the straightaway, he was running 3rd by the exit of turn 1. Now he's off in the weeds.
I saw those 3 cars side by side, and that's not going to work.
I kind of could tell in your voice that you're saying, oh, this isn't good.
It's not going to work.
Here are our top 4 leaders now coming down to complete lap number 5.
3 into 1 doesn't work.
And we've got more cars trying to find their way back onto the pavement here at Road America.
I don't know if that's the same incident or not. I think that we had a separate one there.
A lot of close race when you put 60-plus race cars on the racetrack. Here's the top 4 now, heading down into turn number 3.
And this is what they wanted to do, break away. Now you got a 4-car race, and you can manage 4 cars. You can't manage 10, 12.
Guerrerian leading the 67 of Charbonneau, then the 17 of Tony Coelho. Running in the 4th spot is the number 2 of Jim Drago, that all-white machine. Drago to Memphis, Tennessee. This is his 3rd runoffs, and he had finished 2nd in the Midwest Division this season.
Look at the second pack of cars. That's an angry little group right there.
That's 9 angry guys.
Yeah, that's an angry group.
Man, they're running hard, aren't they? This is pretty cool to see. The Spec Miata's in full song here at Road America.
Oh, and here's another incident up behind these guys on the
straightaway. That's for the lead. Charbonneau has it. Back to 3rd goes Guerrerian. Boy, you take one blink away from the leaders, and it changes that quickly.
Well, that second angry pack I was talking about just had a big wreck in the back straightaway there. I don't know which car it was, but I saw somebody going in the wrong direction.
Chip Van Verst is up in the 10th position, the national points champion, and this is, again, the reshuffling at the point. Charbonneau has lead now. Guerrerian able to get back 2nd spot. He lost it momentarily to Tony Coelho, the black machine. Coelho runs now 3rd. Boy, Valifar out of the picture, as we mentioned. Hopefully he's back on course, but he was in this mix momentarily, and man, half a lap means a whole ton here at Spec Miata.
Yeah, you got to watch it. Like I said, if you can get passes made before the corner entry, it doesn't slow up the progress of the 4-car train. But if you get side by side and you see that and you make a pass into a corner, well, you're slowing everybody up around you, and that's what that gap is from.
Charbonneau, that black and white number 67, is sponsored, jacked up on Mountain Dew. That's all it says.
Had a couple of dews right before he got in the car, I would bet.
Florida Racer finished 2nd in the Southeast Division, has the lead now, and this is a great, great battle here.
I would call that a battle for 2nd, but it really isn't. It's a battle for 5th. It's just the 2nd group.
Right, exactly. This is the leaders again, and there's Guerrerian taking the lead back here.
Good pass down into the brake zone in Canada corner.
Coelho in contention, Drago in contention. Hey, these 2 guys up front, you want to swap the leads? We can do that. We just need to stay with you.
Yeah, see, that's clean passing, too. As long as you do it like that and get the pass done before the corner entry, you're not slowing anybody up. That whole pack is still running pretty well.
Jeff Labonte in that red car in the distance leads this pack in the 5th position.
Oh, trouble there. The 4th place car just
Jim
spun.
Drago.
Drago just spun on his own.
He locked up the brakes or something?
Yeah, he almost made contact with the black car, 3rd place car.
All right.
And I saw him getting in trouble there, and sure enough, like you said, he locked up and spun out of contention.
Drago spins out of 4th position as drama continues to unfold here in the Spec Miata class in the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs here at Road America. This is your top 3 now, breaking away from the field. Got a 3-second gap on 4th.
And that 4th is 4th through everybody.
Chip Van Verst, again, the national champion, coming up in the 02 machine to battle with Labonte going into turn number 1 behind this pack of 3. So Labonte, again, qualified 14th. He didn't like that. He's not going to stay there long. He's up into a top 5 run now.
You can tell these guys all race with each other a lot because they're really clean. You see what they're doing is, they're making these runs at one another. When they've got a clean opportunity, they make it and they take that position. But otherwise, the 3 of them pulling away because they're being such clean, doing such a clean draft.
And it is Chip in that number 02 machine. Chip Van Verst, the black and green 02 out of Pompano Beach, Florida, has now moved his way into fourth, leading that second pack of everybody, as you mentioned, Dorsey.
Like I say, those top three, they look pretty happy, guys. But that second group, oh, there's trouble again.
That's Charbonneau now not getting the brake pedal fully working into the corner.
I don't know if he dropped his foot off the brake there or what happened. He started into the corner, looked pretty good, and all of a sudden the car just took off on him.
May have been a puff of smoke out of, according to our friends here on SpeedcastTV.com, a puff of smoke, perhaps a wheel locked up momentarily.
Locked the brake up and then, just had to get off the brake pedal.
Great shots here of the top three, and it's not a 3-second gap anymore. So as they're tussling here and as they drop a wheel here and there, it's going to close up again.
Boy, that's what you don't want. You look in the rearview mirror and see the second angry group coming at you.
Van Verst leading. In the fifth position, actually, LeBounty now is running behind Chip Van Verst. He's in that green and black 02. That's the national points champion now up into the fourth. No rear bumper on that car.
Yeah, it looks like he's been illuminated. Somebody's rubbed off the back bumper on that one.
Battle
bumper
for
cover.
The sixth position. The 15 machine is James York.
Side by side down into the kink again. That gets straightened out before the turn in. That's good.
That all red machine is the 07 of Jeff LeBounty. Again, he was running in the fourth position, now getting set back a few spots. This is the leaders. The top three again. Guerrerian leading, Coelho, and now the 67 of Charbonneau.
Charbonneau really wanting to make a pass right then. Gave up on it.
The inside. Nice maneuver there.
Yellow flag out, so somebody is in the kitty litter around the corner here.
Great racing. 60-plus cars started this event. Had an incident on the opening circuit. We were under caution for 4 laps and back to green flag and back at it. Full song here in the Spec Miata division. One of 29 events here at Road America in the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Leaders now coming into view under the Bucyrus Bridge. It's led by Steve Guerrerian out of Providence, Rhode Island, leading Tony Coelho of East Troy, Wisconsin. This is home turf for the Coelhos.
Like you said, Coelho, national champion in Formula Ford, open wheel, single seat racing, and now it's taking on the Spec Miata, showing that you can drive anything.
And Guerrero doesn't like the idea that if you want the outside, Tony, you can't have it going into one. I'm going to say right here in front of you.
These guys, good clean racing. Like I said, those top three are playing it pretty smart. It'll get a bit more frantic toward the end here, I guarantee you. As long as they keep doing what they're doing there, they'll pull away from that second group, because the second group is fighting pretty hard amongst themselves. Like I say, you almost say it was second place, but it's fourth place.
A great run here. I mean, the top three, things are finally now. The dust is finally settling just a little bit.
Yeah, they've got now the race is taking on a pace. The top three guys being smart. Here they are.
Just as I say that, look at this. Here comes Coelho. Is it an outside in maneuver here, trying to get him inside
he's going to
get
passed up the inside more than likely.
All right.
Didn't make it.
That's not going to stop Charbonneau on that white and black 67 to go the inside of 6 on Coelho.
And you see how Coelho backed away and let him have that corner so that they didn't go into it side by side and slow themselves up. That was smart. Once he knew that he was going to be passed, he'd let the pass happen versus contend and fight for it.
Awareness is such a big difference. And open wheel cars, you mentioned, Formula Ford to this, I mean, it's got to feel a lot different racing with a windshield in front of you and a closed cockpit.
Well, that's what's so fun about these cars. We've got so many cars, they're all equal, and you learn how to race, and that's what these guys know. These guys up front, they know how to race one another, and you see they make these passes, and they don't hinder one another. As Coelho just showed us right there, once he knew that he was going to not have the inside for the corner, he backed away, let the other car get in, and tucked back in. Nobody got slowed up in that whole maneuver, and so they're...
And look at the gap they still enjoy.
Sure.
And he's still in contention here. He's still with inside leader. He's still in that lead pack, and he's a factor in that black 17 is Coelho and the PortFoundations.com Miata.
Absolutely a factor. I mean, that was just a pass for one corner. Now, like I said, it gets down toward the last lap. At the end of the race, things aren't going to be quite so friendly. But right now, they're playing it pretty smart.
And once again, this was the trouble spot on lap number 1. We had that many cars rolling through there. Now the top 3 go by single file. Providence, Rhode Island, Steve Guerrerian, the race leader now from pole. Coelho had the lead momentarily on the opening circuit. And here is that battle back behind them. Chip Van Verst still runs in the 4th spot in that green machine.
That second group looks like it's settled itself in a little bit now, too, and starts running single file. That's the only way they're going to catch those lead 3 is to play clean.
Chip Van Verst leading the 07 machine of LeBounty. Up this long 1 mile length straightaway here. They'll stay single file for now. We'll see what they do when they fan out going into 1 again.
And you see them over by the wall. That's smart. They're breaking that air that's coming up with that 40-mile-an-hour crosswind right here on the front straightaway. you get up against that wall and get into the clean air.
Matt Reynolds started 19th. He's now up into the 5th position. He's that silver car on the right-hand side of your screen, trying to battle here now. Great charge for that young man as he's trying to make his way into this contention for a 4th, maybe a top 5 run at the Runoffs out of 60-some cars. That's a pretty good day.
See, you see the complexity. The 3 guys up front here, they're just dealing with each other. They've got their race figured out. But that second group fighting amongst themselves for what is 4th place overall is slowing them up. Not that they have much choice because there's so many of them there.
4.2 seconds is the gap between the lead pack and this group led by Chip Van First. As we mentioned, he's a national champion this year in the point standings. Finished 12th here a year ago, so things can happen in a hurry. He's now saying, you know what, if I can be ahead of you guys right now, I don't want to be in the middle. I want to lead for a little bit here in that second grouping. This is the battle for the lead. The top 3 cars, Steve Guerrerian, led by Andrew Charbonneau running second there. No challenge this time. Oh, well, I say that. Look at this happens.
Oh, up the inside,
oh,
and
boy.
That's going to make it for a very awkward corner.
Well, Charbonneau's not afraid at all to stick that nose in there and go where he wants to go.
And he's going to go all the way back to 3rd now.
Coelho takes the opportunity to move into 2nd, or does he here, as he's on the outside of that right-hander? Nope, he'll get back into 3rd.
See, they went up there in the 6 all side by side, and then, of course, the inside's got such a tight line because he can't move out. There's cars to the outside of him that it slowed them all up.
Now Charbonneau's trying to lead into the carousel for the first time as the out-and-out race leader. He had to lead for about half a lap a couple laps ago, as we're 8.5 laps into this one.
Probably likes that view better, I would think.
Top 3 cars now, single file, and it looks like Coelho may have lost a bit here. We'll see if he can close that back in.
That's the other thing that you need to know before you get down to the final laps is you got to know what your car's going to be like. Like he's been back there in 3rd place, he's been 2nd place, now he's leading for the first time, and it's going to change. The air on the front of the car for the first time, he's been back there in the draft behind the other 2 cars. It's going to change how the car handles and how it performs.
Charbonneau finished 6th here a year ago. Started in the 4th position, and he's trying to hang on to that lead as Guerrero goes to the outside this time.
And around Canada corner. See, this is going to make him slow up at the top of the hill. Then we're going to make it 3 wide in a second.
And Coelho, again, he can have the opportunity here to jump in on whichever line he thinks is open and take that 2nd spot.
Coelho, being in the 3rd place with those 2 cars fighting, he's getting the benefit of the run. He could actually go by both of them and take the lead if he plays that off right.
And last year in the Formula Ford event, Tony Coelho, if you were here to join us, he actually got involved in a last lap incident for the win in turn 14. So I imagine every time he goes through 14, he's probably thinking, oh boy, I almost had a championship in hand.
Now you see Tony, he's sitting back there in 3rd place. He's just watching. He's reading what the 2 cars in front are going to do. He doesn't have to be desperate yet. That's what these guys are all playing real calm. None of them are really in desperation yet. It's not to the end of the race. They're all feeling each other out, seeing what their car is capable of doing, how it's running with the other cars. And they're getting a strategy in their mind of how to make it work.
And Charbonneau really taking that lead. You think it could be a strategy move by Guerrero as well, saying if you want to lead
pace
that
car's
bad.
out. I didn't even see that.
No, I didn't either. I just thought he was taking an inside position here. Full course caution here in Spec Miata once again. The second time we slowed this field down, and it's a full course caution. That's the safety car out in front of the field. No passing allowed. Find the 2.9 of Craig Berry heading down
40
pit road.
Off. 73's in the kitty litter.
David Palfinier out of Naperville, Illinois, the 73 machine. Robert McDonald out of Strongsville, Ohio, off as well.
This is down at the bottom of turn 3, I believe.
Palfinier is in the 40 machine off course.
Looks like he has a little body damage
Mark
in the
Pombo. Pepe's got some body work to do in the offseason.
Yeah. There's a Miata over there up against the wall. They're everywhere.
We're going to slow down here again for... Again, if the track is deemed unsafe in a certain area, you'll have a caution just in that portion of the racetrack. But a full course caution, they want to certainly take a closer look before getting back into green flag racing.
Yeah, and if they're in that, you get in that kitty litter and get stuck in there, you're going to have to get pulled out. The car won't get out of there on its own. If it's in a target zone or what they think is a dangerous area, then they'll do whatever they have to do to get the car back out.
Could this be the 8th and luckiest time for Andrew Charbonneau to come to the SCCA National Championship Runoffs and claim victory? We shall see, because he's certainly, out of the Florida region, is hungry and angry and whatever you want to call it, excited to take the lead here under caution for the second time in Spec Miata. Again, the time does play a factor here in how much time these classes are allowed on course, because the number of races, 29 total, to determine 29 different national champions. We'll take a break here on our SpeedcastTV.com coverage and come right back for more of the Spec Miata action.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gum Out.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrated.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.
Welcome back to Road America in the 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs. I'm Jim Trado, sitting next to Dorsey Schrader. And Dorsey, as much fun as we've had, these guys have been slowed down for the second time. What's the mindset here, late in the going, with perhaps running up against the time clock?
Well, they are running up against the time clock. I mean, they could get the checkered this lap, or it could be another lap. You know, if you're Charbonneau in the lead, you want to see that checker flag right now. You know, you don't have to race somebody in a one-lap situation, which is probably what would happen if they go green. It would probably be a one-lap sprint with 60 whatever cars are left out there.
That's Brett Fenske, the number 7 machine. He rolled slowly to a stop at the on pit road, and we'll keep an eye on the starter stand as
I'm hearing
full
that
course caution is remaining out here at Road America.
I think we're going to get the checker. I think we're going to run out of time is what's happened. And for Charbonneau, that opportunistic pass, I should say, is going to win him the race if that's the case.
And I see that the checker flag is in hand by our starter, just a matter of it's being waved or being held in hand in case of.
You hate to see that, you know, after enter into the yellow, but if there, like you said before, there's time constraints that have to be met here. And that first big crash, of course, took a lot of the race away.
And again, we're keeping an eye on our starter stand here at Road America to determine if indeed, again, as under caution, there should be 2, 3, 4 minutes per lap here, depending on how they need to slow the field as well.
That 4-mile course, you know, you're going to be a 4-minute lap probably around here. And I think that, unfortunately, we'll probably see the checker flag because I don't think they have time to do another lap.
So when it comes down to the race, it's Andrew Charbonneau's. If he, again, makes it up the hill, who knows? In Spec Miata, something could happen before they reach the finish line. There is your race leader right now under caution.
Pretty clean car, no dents on it. I don't see tire marks down the door, so he's had a good day.
Andrew Charbonneau finished second in the Southeast Division, 3 wins out of 12 events this year. So this is the 13th time behind the wheel in not points competition, but when it comes down to race wins on the season, it'll be win number 4 for him, and perhaps the biggest win of his career after 7 prior trips to the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Andrew Charbonneau, a couple hundred yards away from victory here under caution. And the checkered is going to be displayed to the field, so Charbonneau will take it and be crowned the SCCA National Champion, and winning the SCCA Runoffs here at Road America. Finishing second will be Steve Guerrerian, third to Tony Coelho, fourth to Chip Van Burst up from 14th, and the number 75 machine of Aaron McSpadden from 16th to 5th on the final circuit. Again, under green, a lot of passing going on in that whole cluster, 5th on back. Finishing in the 6th spot, a great run. Advancing 13 positions, Matt Reynolds started 19th on the day.
Top 3 guys, you know, they just play it smart. Like I said, they ran their race perfectly, and they knew it was going to come down between the 3 of them. They didn't think it was going to end like it did, obviously. They didn't get to get to the checkered flag under a green condition, but the way they ran the race is exactly what you would want to do. Break away from the pack and keep it clean, and then work it out amongst yourselves at the end.
And for the racers that have, again, come from across the country, Rhode Island, Wisconsin, represented here as well as Florida, just in the top 3. I mean, it really speaks volumes about SCCA racing and setting the stage as a complete class. They really do their research. When Spec Miata came on board as a class, it was not a matter of where do they fit. There's enough interest. Let's make it their own class. Let's make room for them, and let's grow this sport.
You know, when you're running your division, you're running probably 4, 5, 6, 7 guys all the time, and you race at different racetracks in your division, and you know how each other drives. But when you come to the runoffs, you get these guys from all over the country, the top of the top, come here, and then you know, you really mature. You really learn more at this race than you do anything that you do through the whole year. This is the most important one to get to.
The Spec Miata class was officially part of the National Championship Runoff starting in 2006. Andrew Cadell won in the Mazda Miata. Brad Rampelberg won the year after that. Eric Foss won the final time at Topeka and Heartland Park, Topeka. And last year, the man who finishes second here today and the silver medalist was the champion, Steve Guerrerian. So, indeed, another new winner. 5 for 5 as the checker flag is out. And Boy, the winds continue to howl here at Road America. These
we just had a blast across the front straightaway that took all the tents and everything apart over there.
Near tornado condition. I mean, if you've ever been in a big windstorm, this is a big windstorm.
You're not kidding, it is.
We're not in Kansas either.
No.
There's a lot of windstorms in Kansas, as you know, Missouri.
Yeah, that was a big one. I looked over there and I saw tents flying and all kind of things.
Yeah, they're called easy ups today for a reason. They go easy up into the air. If you
Easy
don't
up
have
and
tied
gone.
down. Exactly. Great action on the racetrack. More to come here from Road America. As again, 29 races throughout 3 days. We're just race number 5 into this. And Spec Miata race has unfortunately had a couple of cautions. A lot of race cars trying to get straightened away. And we end this one under caution, but not due to some great racing action when it was green flag racing. A lot of good shuffling. We mentioned 13 cars passed by the gentleman who finished in the 6th position. Matt Reynolds made it up from 19th to 6th. There was an incident about mid-pack on the opening circuit to really kind of shake the order up on back from there. And Chip Van Versen, that green car, ends up in the 4th position. So good run by Chip. Again, he qualified 14th as our national points champion.
That was a huge fight for 4th position between like 7 cars back there, and those guys were really wailing on each other. So that 4th is like a win today.
David Paul Fanier is standing by to make sure his Miata's towed back. We see there's some damage on the left front. That's not a good old-fashioned baseball bat. That's actually a pry bar.
Pry bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting some fender clearance here.
That comes down to tenths of a second, hundredths of an inch, and where that fender rides on the left front to keep the air off the tire. I mean, all that plays a factor at every level in SCCA racing and any level of racing.
Yeah, that was a really good race, and I say we covered that top 3, and of course that second pack is 6-7 cars. But you know, when you got 63 cars all the way in the back, there's stuff going on all around this racetrack, 4-mile racetrack.
Absolutely, and again, this Spec Miata class has been checkered. This is the final lap as they'll come back into the pits and talk to John Bizignano, and it's going to be neat to see what these racers had in mind and what could have been. But for Andrew Charbonneau, it's a lot of bragging rights between now and next season, and forever known as a national champion pending the tech shed.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Tech shed's always a big problem at the runoffs. Yeah, the top 3 guys, you know, I mean, they all had a strategy in mind. They all had what they think they could have done on the last lap that they didn't get to pull off. But you know, like I say, for Charbonneau, that last pass, well, that's the one that won him the national championship.
And that will be forever the pass. I'm sure that Steve Guerrero will be thinking over and over again, okay, do I let him do that? At what point in the race do I do that? And there's so many factors that go into making this race work.
And they were letting those passes happen. I mean, that wasn't, if they knew that was going to be the last lap, that wouldn't have been as easy as it was, but that's just the way it played out.
And again, Spec Miata competitors, plenty of them still on the racetrack, but again, we have been checkered here on this racetrack, and they're going to come up pit road. 4-mile circuit at this speed takes forever to get around, but I imagine Andrew Charbonneau has no worries about how long it takes to get back to the pits and get his hands on that checkered flag.
He'll be a happy guy. I mean, those top 3, they fought really, really hard. They drove a real smart race. The second group was in more frantic mode, if you will, but when you got 7 guys fighting for 4th position, you're going to have a little of that.
And that is Charbonneau. A good look, final look here as they go past some of our cameras here on the SpeedcastTV.com coverage, up 14. They'll all pull down pit road, and they'll hold a certain number of cars on pit road. It's a very established and orderly way to go about getting the cars back in the pits, getting the cars staged in the false grid. 500 volunteers throughout the course of the week help make the SCCA runoffs happen. You can get involved as well by visiting the website SCCA.com and finding a region and having some fun and really taking part in what is a great, great tradition now for 47 years as the national championships bring everybody together one time a year to run for the national championship. Not a points race, but certainly a lot on the line here and a lot of pride for these amateur racers as they come down pit road.
You know, it's a tough deal. You run 6-7 races during the course of a year, and, you know, in the national championship is decided by one race on one day.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's the hardest. You know, I ran 12 national championship races, and I never won any of them. Came in second. I couldn't win one of these runs. I had to turn pro to get a win.
You did that here in Road America a couple times. We'll talk more about that as the 1984 class winner here in the SCCA Trans Am. That's the pro category for Dorsey Schrader. Sitting alongside with us throughout the runoffs, as well as Greg Kramer and Bart Wolf. We're tag teaming here throughout the weekend. It should be a lot of fun bringing you all the action and getting the action to you on SpeedcastTV.com. It's a great undertaking by a lot of individuals. I mentioned the 500 volunteers. How about our camera guys? They're propped up in this wind.
And they're out in that 40-mile-an-hour wind. I mean, it's a mess.
And Biz is in the elements as well, and one of his favorite elements is back in Mobil 1 winners interview area. And Biz is with our race winner. Biz, I imagine Andrew's pretty happy right now.
All throughout the race, pushing, shoving, trading paint. How much confidence did you have in the people around you?
It was a little dicey here and there, but I think the front runners, even with their touch a little bit, they got pretty good car control. I don't think they have issues up here. I don't think he was malicious in intent or anything, so it was a pretty good race. A lot of excitement, a lot of neat stuff to watch.
Well, Barney's going to come in with your medal. Congratulations on a great championship.
You hear the wind in the microphone of Biz is, again, Andrew Charbonneau getting that gold medal. I mean, that really is what you take away as your memento, and it's something that guys will spend every waking moment, every dollar they have to get that opportunity.
Hardest one to get, I guarantee you. It's something else. The competition level here is
Excuse
as
me,
good
Carol.
as it gets.
Listen, you had pole position by a full second, okay? If this race would have kept going, what would you have done with it?
Well, I don't know. I think Andrew drove a great race. Andrew drove a great race. Tony drove a great race. I think any one of us could have won it. You know, we were chasing an electrical problem all week with the car cutting out. Came through turn 5, the car shuts off. Car shuts off, got no power. You know, you hit the rumble, car shuts off. They drive by me, you got to get it back. So unfortunately, that's the deal. It's kind of a bummer, but I think Andrew drove a great race. I think Tony drove a great race. I think any one of us could have won it. Had it stayed green, who knows?
Well, it would have been more fun for everyone. Congratulations on a great second place. I think you did pretty well for a car shutting off on you.
Well, yeah, I mean, just shutting off, you know, it would shut off, come back on a second later. You know, it was just enough. I mean, Tony got me there, then Andrew got me there, you know, and I had to get it back and stuff. So, you know, David does a great job with the car, and, you know, my wife and family at home give me a lot of support. I appreciate it, but it is what it is. It's a good race anyway. It's good.
Congratulations. Well, unfortunately, he wasn't allowed to finish it the way he wanted, under double yellow.
Well, it explains what happened in
Whoa,
turn 5
Tony.
that we saw the one time.
Yep. Boy,
What a
and
punch
that
up,
just has
huh?
to grind on you.
Yeah, I knew
would have
something.
liked to seen this go green. What would you have had left for the leaders?
Oh, I was just sitting there relaxing.
You didn't look too relaxed to me, mate.
Yeah,
You were driving very hard.
Yeah, you always drive hard, but really, those guys were beating on each other pretty good. And I was in Formula Ford last year, duking it out to the end, and I was one of the first and second place cars that lost it. You know, got taken out in the last corner of the last lap. And the way those guys were beating on each other, I figured just sit behind them. If they take each other out, great. If I have to race them the last couple laps, I'll do it. I didn't expect, the group to drive like that and cause so many double yellows. As a group, we only have ourselves to blame for a short race, but it would have been nice to go to the end. It would have been a lot more fun for everybody, I think.
Congratulations on a great bronze medal and a podium finish.
Thank you.
And Tony's waiting to see his dad, Nino, there in the background. And unfortunately for those guys, they were thinking maybe it would be our race. But again, the Scott Rubenzer theory. If I'm in third and those guys want to go that hard at it, maybe I'll get a championship.
And that's exactly what I was saying. You could see that those guys were calm. I mean, they're in a race, and they're racing really hard, but they were very calm. They all knew exactly what they were doing. You just heard Tony say he was going to sit back there and watch those guys beat on each other. And if it came to the end, he had a plan, and they all had a plan. Unfortunately, it ends under a yellow, and they didn't get to play it out.